Today we're talking about the Logitech G935 Wireless 7.1 LIGHTSYNC Gaming Headset. So right off the bat, you might be noticing this little box on my chest. This is my new mic. If you haven't seen that new video, I'm gonna link it somewhere up here for you to check out if you want to do that. Hoping the audio quality is better, but let's get into it. This is my new gaming headset. This is the gaming headset that probably has the biggest name ever, as you probably noticed in the first intro. It is the Logitech G935 Wireless 7.1 LIGHTSYNC Gaming Headset. I still can't memorize that. It's such a long name, but anyways, let's get into it. So the box is typical for Logitech packaging. It's got a nice big picture on the front. It's got some technical specifications on the side, like the fact that the driver is 50 millimeters. The microphone pickup pattern is cardioid for those audio specific people. The wireless range is up to 15 meters indoors and 20 meters outdoors. The battery life is 12 hours without lighting or 8 hours with lighting. On the back, we've got some more feature explanations, like how durable it is, how much lighting and RGB there is. It talks about the premium leatherette ear pads. It's got 3 programmable G keys, mute button and volume control knob, and large 6mm flip to mute microphone, and that's that. So unfortunately, it doesn't look as nice packaging as my last Logitech review. I'll link that up here if you haven't seen that either. That's my new gaming mouse. But packaging isn't everything. Sometimes a good product doesn't need to have good packaging to make it a good product. So it's kind of a funky way to package the box. It has this attached spine that opens up like this, and then you're greeted with a bag with the headphones, and then some cables, some papers, and finally a USB dongle. So we'll close the spine up and throw that up here, and that brings us to this. So I guess so here we have the Logitech G935 Wireless 7.1 LIGHTSYNC Gaming Headset. I think I got that right this time. Just looking at it, it has a nice sleek design. They really paid attention to the design by adding all these little accents. The exterior is all plastic. Some of it is more of a smooth matte finish, while the rest is more of a shiny plastic. The headband has a little pad, as do the ear cups, and these are both the premium leatherette material that they claim on the back of the box. And honestly, they do feel very premium. It's very comfortable and comfortable for long hours of use. They are extendable, which is good for us big-headed folks. So they go all the way up to this big, which is just a little bit too big for me, but actually, unfortunately, it's just big enough. So already while I'm wearing them, I can already tell that they're very good at noise canceling, or at least noise isolating. You might have noticed that my voice has gotten louder. I can't tell, but if it did, it's because I can't hear myself very well because of how good this noise isolation is. On the side here, we have the pop-down microphone, which is extendable and bendy, so you can get a better microphone coverage. Speaking of microphone, if you haven't noticed, I have my new Rode Wireless Go microphone here, which I just did a video about, and you can see that video up here if you haven't seen that yet. One nice thing about this microphone is that when you pull it down and when you push it up, there's a little beep that lets you know that it is active or inactive, so that helps in case it's ever accidentally flipped up or down. One great thing about how comfortable this is that for those of us who wear glasses for long hours of use, These foam cups are great at not pushing your glasses into your skull, so they don't end up hurting your head after long hours of use. Another reason why that happens is because of how flexible these ear cups are, so they twist a little bit to the front, but then all the way to the back if you fancy listening to your music as a loudspeaker. You can do it like this. The ear cups are also bendable up and down, and it's got pretty wide bendability overall. On the bottom of the left ear cup, you'll notice a micro USB port and a headphone jack, so that's where your two cables get plugged in. And then a little bit above that, you have your volume rocker, and then a mute button, 3 programmable buttons, and then your on and off switch. One issue that I've had with this headset so far is that the power button is actually a little bit loose, so it always rattles around and it's just a little bit audible, so it would be nice to get that updated for the next time. Logitech, if you're listening to this. And then along the back, beside these buttons, you'll notice that there's an RGB strip going along the side, and then the matching Logitech logos on both sides. It seems weird that they'd put the RGB on the side and the back, because when I'm wearing it, I can't see them, and neither can anyone that might be watching me stream on Twitch, for example. So that RGB really isn't adding anything. It actually takes away up to 4 hours of battery life per charge by leaving the RGB on. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off for now. On the opposite sides of these ear cups, both have a little door that is held on with 2 magnets. On the right-handed cup is a replaceable battery. It does charge with a USB cable, but if down the line it starts to die out and the battery life becomes shorter, you can replace just the battery instead of the whole unit to save you a bit of money. Pop that back on. And then on the other side is a handy little compartment to throw your USB dongle in if you don't like using it wirelessly, or if you're going to be traveling. But I'm going to be using this because I prefer it wireless, so I'm going to leave that out and pop this back on. Another issue that I've had with the G935 Wireless 7.1 LIGHTSYNC Gaming Headset, other than the name, is the fact that these programmable buttons are on the back. They all kind of feel the same when you're reaching back to press a button, so it's kind of hard to decipher which button is which, especially when there's a mute button right on the bottom. So I often end up pressing the wrong button, so I've just ended up not using these buttons at all. Some extra texture or some different material between each button might be a good idea for the next one, so that it's easier to decipher for people who aren't looking at the buttons when they're touching them. Speaking of the buttons, the way that you program them is in the Logitech G Hub software. So this is the same software I talked about with my Logitech G900 wireless gaming mouse. Unlike other companies who has one specific software for each, Logitech has this one hub that lets you connect all of your Logitech devices, see them all, and then control each one within this one software. I'm quickly becoming a Logitech fan just after these 2 devices that I've got. So Logitech, I think you're doing something right. Inside of the Logitech G Hub software for this device, you have options for changing the RGB or just simply turning it on and off. You can program these 3 buttons with things like turning on and off surround sound, turning on and off the bass boost, switching between EQ modes, or many other kinds of macros that you might want. Inside of this software, you also have the option of changing your EQ, whether that's with the simple pre-made presets that they have, or a little bit more complex full EQ with, I think, 16 bands that you can control. Overall, they sound great. I've used them for everything between gaming, editing these videos, listening to music, and even watching surround sound movies. Despite only having 2 drivers or 2 speakers in this device, Logitech has a software within this device to be able to mimic 7.1 surround sound channels. All it does is takes the front and the back signals and add a bit of extra processing to them to make it sound like the sound source is coming from in front or behind you. And honestly, it sounds really good, and it's tricked me so far. I've been going through all of the Marvel movies recently, and Honestly, they sound incredible with surround sound on these headphones. One thing I would warn against is going out in public with these because they do look kind of goofy. As you can tell, they're quite wide off of my face, and for someone who already has a big head, these just make it look even bigger. Luckily, you have to have a USB dongle, or I guess you could plug in with your headphone jack, but just be aware that it might look a little goofy, as it does with me. Finally, we have the mic. So the audio quality with the mic is really good. I've been on a few different Discord channels with the voice chat, and all the people I've chatted with have always complimented how good the audio sounds. And hearing it myself through these speakers, it always sounds good, and I have no complaints with it. So overall, I'd say that this is an amazing product. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're in the market for something like this. If you spend a lot of time at your computer, then this is something that would probably greatly improve your life in general. The battery life is quite good with these as well. It has up to 12 hours of use without the RGB and up to 8 hours with the RGB on, so that's the 4-hour difference that I was talking about earlier. So to wrap this up, I would recommend these. It's got everything that I would ever need from a pair of headphones like this. It's got great sound, great microphone sound, super comfortable. The app that works with this works amazing, and it helps out a lot with this. The price isn't too bad. It looks good. It's not too heavy. It stays on my head pretty well. So overall, I really don't have much to complain about, considering that my main complaint is about a loose power switch. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a big thumbs up, and feel free to comment down below what you think of these. How goofy do they make me look when I'm wearing them? Please be nice. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.